I am like a little kid right now, completely excited for these topics ahead. For those of you who enjoy nerding out in very old wisdom applied into modern day application of our just normal everyday lives, this is the episode for you. I am breaking it out into 7 parts because I have decided from this main topic secrets of yogic principles that you can apply into your everyday life. This is not an official thing by any means, the 7 principles of yoga. Maybe it is, but for me, I've just happened to extract 7 main principles that have impacted my life, my students' lives, and it is so worth diving in and letting your mind absorb this knowledge and also applying it yourself, tweaking it, throwing out stuff that's not useful, and really just growing from there. So I highly encourage anybody listening to take this information as seeds, planting into your consciousness that you can walk away with and play with and learn and dive into in your own fascination from this topic. So, the main topic, secrets of yogic principles that you can apply into your everyday life. I want to emphasize right this moment you do not have to know yoga or have ever done yoga in order to leverage these principles and immediately apply them into your life today. That is the biggest point is I'm taking wisdom that I've really found fruitful in my life and I'm applying it into a general understanding of our everyday movements, our everyday patterns, how our body functions, and delivering it to you guys. As I mentioned, I'm breaking it out into 7 parts, but each one is going to stand on its own so that you don't necessarily have to go in the order. I've purposely decided an order just to have our brains kind of grasp each level as we learn it. However, all that to say, you can jump around, skip the parts, dive into whatever sounds appealing to you. So, for this part, our main topic, we are going to focus on the eyes, the visual system as a gateway to the brain. Our eye focus points. Now, in yoga, this is called a drishti point. In the inception of yoga, you guys, and I'm passing this information on as if you don't know anything about yoga. If you've learned it and you've practiced it, great. Hopefully, these pieces enhance your practices. But the drishti point is a concept that was embedded into the practice from the inception, meaning back in ancient times, they valued the brain to eye union in such a way that every single pose or asana in yoga has an eye focus point. Now, hopefully, right this moment, this spawns a little interest. Why? What's going on here? Well, let's dive in. First, I want to preface this talk in saying that I want you to use your own imagination and visualize yourself as we're talking through this. I'm going to ask that of you so that our memory, our visualizations of ourselves in our everyday actions can immediately start growing just from this talk. You can start embedding these concepts immediately into your everyday life just simply by seeing yourself. And then the last thing I want to touch on before we dive in, the impact, you guys, of this topic alone, and remember, there's 7 of them within this Secrets of Yogic Principles, but the impact is substantial. I'm talking about a improvement in your attention and focus, your memory, enhancing your processing speed by learning this. I'll say that again. The ability to process information will rapidly speed up by leveraging these tools. You can regulate your nervous system and you can enhance neuroplasticity through the eyes. It is fascinating. This is why I nerd out. So I will pause here because I just dropped a big word, one that I highly recommend on your own time. If this sounds exciting to you, dive in, buy the books, learn about it. Neuroplasticity. It is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. So if we take this topic for today, our eye focus points, by improving our visual processing and just our coordination in general, which takes awareness, through intentional eye movements, whether they are exercises like saccades or visual tracking like they do in sports performance enhancement, or applying the level of concentration in where your eyes look in your day-to-day movements. Either one, dive into exercises or just use what I'm teaching today as a way to implement it into your everyday life with awareness. You will be enhancing your brain's ability to reorganize itself and form new connections. So let's dive in. As I mentioned, the eye focus point is a principle that I'm extracting from the yogic philosophies, ancient traditional yoga, and how to apply it into our day-to-day movements. Well, first I'll talk about my classes. As an instructor, I guide my students brain first, always. In order to guide the brain first, I help guide their intention and their eyes. Two things off of the brain. What is your intention and where are your eyes looking? Now, if you immediately jump into everyday life, walking down the street, say your phone is in your hand, take a look at your posture. Are you slouched, kind of looking over that phone? Are you even paying attention to your steps? How are your feet? What is in front of you, to the side of you, behind you? Where are you going? So when we guide ourselves, which I attempt to do in my classes, with the brain first, and then secondary, what is our intention and where are our eyes? That is step one to this topic today, using our visual system as a gateway to enhance our brain. Now, in that example, which maybe a lot of us have done that, I know I'm guilty of it, is looking at my phone, maybe reading something, even walking through the grocery store and catching up on an email. So visualize yourself when you are, say, in transit, on your feet, walking out of a coffee shop, walking into your car, leaving your house, walking through the grocery store. Picture yourself right now. In the average day-to-day life, are you aware of your breath? Are you aware of your steps? How is your structural alignment with your body in those actions? See it, and see it for what it really is, because we're going to grow. Now imagine you're in that grocery store and you don't have the phone in your hand and you feel your entire feet gliding as they should, heel to toes, across the floor as you're moving forward. See your hips completely in balance. You're not favoring one side, you're not leaning. See your stomach nice and relaxed, your chest open, your spine erect. Now let's talk about our eye focus. Say you are walking towards aisle 10 and you're going to go get a jug of milk. You're walking, feeling your feet, feeling your posture erect. You are aware, but your eyes are fixated on aisle 10. As you walk, your intention is planted. There's no other distractions. You are focused. As you arrive to the intersection of where you're walking to turn to aisle 10, you look down the aisle first with your eyes. So you use your eyeballs completely as far as they can go to the right, for example. Then your head follows. Then your chest and shoulders open up, facing that direction. Your hips follow. And then you take a very conscious step, pivoting your feet. Your knees are relaxed, and you turn in that direction and start walking. Now your eyes are fixated into the section where the milk is. You're lasered in. You feel your feet as they're gliding across the floor. You walk to that section and you do the same thing. You turn your eyes exactly to the area of the milk that you like. For me, I like oat milk. I locate the oat milk. I turn my head, turn my shoulders and chest. Everything remains open. Yet, completely fixated on the intention. My entire body, my entire mind is all in unison for that one goal. I open the door consciously, I grab the milk that I'm intending to grab, I place it into my cart, and I move on. This is a granular level of operating, you guys. And it's in motion. At any moment, a baby could start screaming, somebody could drop a produce on the ground, something could happen, your phone could ring to immediately interrupt the moment. But who is responsible for that level of awareness? You. Your commitment to the practice, to the intention, to that deep level of focus is 100% on you. And the biggest question that we are asking ourselves is, do we want to operate at that heightened level of awareness and train ourselves to operate in that space 100% of the time? I can tell you right now, it will probably take the rest of my life to ever get to that 100%. But I am committed. So our brain to eyes is what happens first. Now let's apply it to yoga. I'm teaching a class. We're transitioning, say, from a up dog to a downward dog. Our eyes originally are in the up dog, which is kind of more of a push-up position. Chest is open, head is reaching towards the ceiling. Our hips are dropped. So it's kind of like a back bend, focused on the lumbar and the entire spectrum of our spine. In that up dog, my eyes are looking up towards the ceiling because I'm extending up. Now, in order to transition from one pose to the other, I am first going to change my eyes. So my intention from looking up and extending is now going to go to look at my belly button. Look at my navel. As soon as my eyes start to look down and travel towards that belly button, guess what happens? My chin tucks in, my cervical spine lines up with the rest of my spine. I push up with my hips into that downward facing dog. My feet are able to start rooting themselves, and I'm extending with my eyes to look back at my navel. And then take some breaths. Keep looking. Keep reaching with your eyes to fold deeper into yourself. It was a aha moment for me. When I first started practicing yoga and applying the drishti point or eye focus point to my practice, it absolutely changed the game. Within one practice, I felt like I accelerated my awareness, my ability to unify breath with movement. And then on a physical level, I immediately saw the impact of flexibility. I wasn't focused on anything else. I committed to practicing eye focus points with every pose in yoga. So from that moment forward, anything that I practiced, whether it was martial arts over the last 10 years plus, whether it was practicing Tai Chi, which that's a fantastic practice in order to enhance neuroplasticity, I was able to take pieces from my practices in Aikido and other martial arts, in Tai Chi, in Qigong, and even just being a busy mom every day of my life. I started to take away the pieces that all related to each other. So whether I'm doing a sport, whether I'm doing an activity, a hobby, whether I'm practicing yoga, whether I'm putting away the dishes out of my dishwasher, these things can apply right now. Not in 10 minutes, right now. So our brain is completely responsible for our vestibular system and our peripheral awareness. This is where I'm going to ask you to visualize yourself. Now, we all know what we do most of the days of the week. Whether we work or we are retired or we are stay-at-home parents, whatever it is, you could probably take a majority of days out of the week and see yourself in your average day-to-day lifestyle. I'll use myself as an example. I work full-time, I'm at a desk. I can either stand up at that desk or sit down, but I am locked into a computer 5 days a week for the majority of my day. After that, I leave work, I pick up my kids, I start cooking, I put dishes away. The motions go on and on, all the way through baths and bed. So that is my day-to-day life. And a lot of us do work on computers, so I'm going to start there. See yourself in your average day-to-day life and the motions of your body. Now, what are your eyes doing? Where are your eyes looking? Where are your eyes not looking? And let's envision a shape that could encompass your peripheral awareness during the day. I'll go back to my example. I'm sitting or standing at my desk. I have my computer in front of me, maybe my coffee or water next to me. My peripheral awareness could be drawn with the length of my arms in, say, a big circle. But it's not that big of a circle because my head is usually straight, my eyes are fixated on my computer. But if I were to just take a pause and an assessment of the environment I can see within my peripheral awareness, it would probably only go as far as, say, a picture on the wall to the right. Maybe in my peripheral, I could see a little bit of the floor, my thighs as I'm sitting there, but that is an assessment of my overall peripheral awareness. And I could draw a shape around it. So what does that mean for 8-hour days? What does that mean to the growth of my brain, to rebuilding connections within my brain and communicating them throughout my body? Well, unfortunately, it doesn't mean much. It means that I'm locked in to a very habitual way of operating. So my awareness is limited. My body alignment is pretty stuck because it's not expanding beyond that shape. And my overall mechanics, like moving the mouse to pick something on my computer or reaching for my coffee, my overall mechanics are limited as well. How is this enhancing my brain's longevity? It's not. So let's take the exact same example. I have a desk that can stand up, sit down. So perhaps I give myself a minute or two between important things going on in the day, and say I move my chair to the side and I just stand up. I stand up. I use the first episode of this podcast, which is talking about a grounding practice, 4 levels, and I do it. I root my feet, they're hip width apart. I relax my knees. I let my hips kind of curl under. I relax my stomach, chest, let my arms kind of just hang there like they're heavy. I gently tuck my chin in to line up my cervical spine with the rest of my back. I gently curl my tailbone under to line up my lumbar spine with the rest of the back. I'm breathing. I'm locked in to lining myself up structurally, breathing so I can relax my nervous system, and then I use my eyes in a way that I haven't for the last several hours. In this posture, I'm rooted, relaxed, and breathing. Now, I think, look to the right. So first, I let my eyes look all the way to the right and my head follow. And I only go as far as I feel a stretch, not a pinch, not cracks. I only go as far as my eyes are comfortable reaching and my head can turn. I come back to center and I breathe. Now I think, look all the way to the left. I use my eyeballs first, you guys. That means that I'm not turning my head until my eyes start to reach all the way over to the left. Then I let the head turn. I relax my shoulders. I notice, oh wow, my left side is more tight than my right. So relax the shoulders down, root in your feet, and breathe. Come back to center. Reset. Next, I decide to look up. I am going to look up towards that ceiling, using my eyes first, letting my chin follow. As soon as I get to the top, I relax my spine and everything down, and I breathe. Then I do the bottom. I come back, reset, and then look towards the ground. Say that's all I have time for. So then I come back to center. I rub my eyes, giving them some warmth and friction with my fingertips, and then I relax myself down, get back to the computer. Now, if you have more time, expand on this. There is something that I had the privilege of learning. I didn't dive too deep into it, but it was very fascinating, and it was something called Z Health. That is where I first heard about neuroplasticity. It is a fantastic, all-encompassing system, Z Health, based out of Arizona. And what it does is it allows you to learn the exercises of eye movement and even structural body movements to work through, say, previous traumas, to expand your range of motion, to exist at the peak performance that you could possibly exist in. It's fantastic. So once again, understanding the ancient wisdom of the Drishti point or eye focus point that was consciously embedded into yoga thousands of years ago, for the reason of the connection between the brain and the eyes. And then fast forward to now, where systems are out there and tools are out there to help us leverage eye movement exercises in order to enhance our brain. You could do this in your everyday life. Use what you do every single day of your life and apply the awareness of your eye movement into everything. Now, I want to say something very important right here. As we start expanding the range of motion of our eyes, you might experience areas where you look that can cause dizziness, that can hurt your eyeballs, and it could even trigger any kind of former trauma or anxieties. This is a real thing. So I highly suggest, as you experiment with your own peripheral awareness and working towards expanding that in your day-to-day life, Make sure you pause, rub your eyes out as they're closed, and breathe. Let your system calibrate the changes. Let your brain ease into growth with nurture and breath, meaning take the time to close your eyes, you guys. I talked about this in episode 2, the power of right this moment. It is crucial, especially if we use our eyes on a screen most of the day. It is crucial to rest the eyes, quiet the brain, even if it's just for a few seconds. That is just as important as working towards enhancing neuroplasticity, expanding on your attention and focus, letting your memory get stronger, your processing speed. All of those things are of such high value. But make sure you incorporate the resting of your eyes, followed by breath and calmness. I hope that you've been able to take something fruitful from this. Like I said, throw out what doesn't work for you. Take in your pocket what does. Let it be a seed. It doesn't have to overwhelm us. It could be as simple as the next time you are operating in your normal day-to-day life, let it be eyes first, what's your intention, and then move your body in a way that is structurally sound. I'm aware of my feet to the top of my head. I'm aware of my breath, and I am using my eyes to their full capacity to keep me right there. Or else, what we are unfortunately becoming as a society, as a human race, are people functioning in autopilot. And it is the oddest thing that I could reflect upon for myself. When I'm walking around that grocery store with my phone in my hand, reading an email, as if I'm laser focused on that email, but at the exact same moment I'm reading that email, I am functioning in autopilot, completely unaware of my body mechanics, completely unaware of my breath, absolutely unaware of the space around me. How do two things like that exist at the same time? How can we be lasered in on our phones and at the same time completely unconscious? So let's change that. Once you start implementing the eye focus within your everyday movements and letting these tools from these episodes start to help you with your body mechanics, your alignment, your posture, your breath, you will start feeling like you're operating in a very clear space. I promise. It is so exciting to be able to talk about this. And for the next part, I'm going to be diving into another secret of yogic principles that you can apply today. Stay tuned.